Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to East Chattanooga. As you can see, we have reached the end of the railroad. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the locomotive out here on a turntable. Now this turntable I'm standing on was built in 1916 by the American Bridge Company of Ambridge, Pennsylvania for the Central of Georgia Railroad. And it was placed at their locomotive heavy repair facility in Macon, Georgia. It was used in Macon for about 9 years till 1925, at which time it was deemed too small for continued use at that facility. It was then moved up to Cedartown, Georgia, where it remained until the early 1980s, at which time it was then donated to the Tennessee Valley Railroad Museum, who brought it here to East Chattanooga and restored it at a cost of just over $100,000, placing it into service here on July 4th, 1982. And from end to end, it is right at 80 feet long, and it weighs roughly 80 tons. To give you an idea of just how much weight that is, the average pickup truck weighs 1 to 3 tons. The average school bus weighs 11 to 13 tons, and the space shuttle, with no fuel or payload in it, only weighs 75 tons. So this turntable, with nothing sitting on it, weighs 5 tons more than the space shuttle. Here in just a minute, we're going to be adding 120 tons of locomotive to it. And when this turntable was new in 1916, it was not turning 120-ton diesel locomotives like the 710. They were turning 200-plus ton steam locomotives like the 4501 that you may have seen back together in the yard. With a full load of coal and water, that locomotive weighs 216 tons. So on Saturday morning, we'll be turning 296 tons on this turntable here. So it might surprise you to learn that this was actually built to be a hand-powered turntable. It only took 4 people to turn this turntable by hand. The trick, right beneath where I'm standing in the very center, is a 6-foot diameter ball bearing that the engineer has to balance over. And he does that by watching the far end of the table down here, where it's raised up just a little bit from those rails to head off into the hillside. When that end down there drops even with those other rails, the engineer has then balanced over that bearing, much like you balance on a teeter-totter on a playground. And that would allow 4 people to come out and be able to turn the turntable with the locomotive sitting on it. Now, liability insurance will not allow me to ask for volunteers anymore. So instead, our road foreman, Mr. Gilmore here under this little house over here, has the controls to a 25 horsepower electric motor, and we'll let him do all the work with just a push of a button. We installed that motor on this turntable when we brought it up here from Cedartown in the early 1980s. Locomotive number 710 was built in 1950 by General Motors up in LaGrange, Illinois. It was built for the NC and St. L Railway. Who wants to take a guess as to what that stands for?
Nashville, Chattanooga, St. Louis.
Nashville, Chattanooga, and St. Louis. The NC and St. L operated this locomotive until 1957, when they became part of the Louisville and Nashville Railroad. At that time, the locomotive was renumbered to 478. And they operated the engine until October of 1975, when it was involved in a head-on collision in Birmingham, Alabama. At that time, it was sold for scrap, but it was purchased out of the scrapyard by Amtrak, who rebuilt it for use in maintenance and way service on the Northeast Corridor between Washington, D.C. and Boston, Massachusetts. It was used on for that job until the early 2000s, when it was sold for scrap yet again. This time it was brought the locomotive here to East Chattanooga and restored to the tax delivery of Garris. Now when this locomotive was new in 1950, it was built with a 1,500 horsepower diesel motor, and it was known as a model GP7. GP meaning general purpose. This locomotive was right at home on a freight train, passenger train, or switching cars in a yard or terminal. When it was rebuilt following that head-on collision, it was upgraded to 1,750 horsepower. Was then redesignated as a model GP9. Now the way this locomotive operates, inside that long hood